Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest fully upgraded arena war vehicles in terms of lap time. We're quickly going to go over the slowest vehicles right now, and as always the position counter is in the top left with the best lap time the vehicle achieved in the top right. This video only focuses on track performance, so if you're interested in top speed where braking, cornering and acceleration aren't relevant, check the link in the description for the top speed testing series, and if you want to know more information about this testing including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists all vehicles that can be used in the Arena War mode. Their positions within their normal classes are also shown on the screen, and you can see all other class specific testing videos in the playlist. Now, just before we get started, one thing that I want to make sure is clear is that the three different versions of all of these vehicles are all exactly the same. So the Nightmare Bruiser, the Future Shock Bruiser and the Apocalypse Bruiser are all identical in terms of performance. So that's why I'm only covering one of each vehicle rather than three of each, because there's no need. They're all identical in terms of performance. So also with these vehicles, they have something new which we haven't really seen for vehicles previously and normal vehicles, and that is the ability to boost. So they get a boost upgrade in the Arena Workshop, and that's basically nitrous. It gives them a nitrous boost. As you'll see from the lap times on the footage, you'll see that they get a decent benefit from that, and I'm able to boost in certain places, then it recharges. And the main beneficiary of this, as we can see here, is the ISI, the arena version of the ISI, which becomes the new quickest compact in the game. Now, this isn't the only beneficiary of the fact that they have boosts. All of these vehicles are about 2 to 3 seconds per lap quicker than they would be without the boost. All of them get a boost as well, apart from probably the Scarab, which, on another note, does pretty well to get into second place for the military vehicles class. But the Scarab's boost really doesn't do much to it. Now, these are all 100% boosts as well, so the maximum boost that's available. And we got the Brutus here with a 107 lap time in 8th place for the off-roads class. That's a pretty quick lap time for the kind of vehicle that it is. And then we see a new top 3 for the muscle cars class. So the 6th place vehicle for the Arena War vehicles, the Impaler, the arena version of the Impaler, the regular version of the Impaler will be coming, the testing for that will be coming. This is already a better lap time than the previous best muscle car in the game of the Yosemite, and it's all thanks to that boost. The benefit that these cars get from having a nitrous boost is pretty, substantial, and it's the same sort of thing that we've seen from, say, the Vigilante and the Scramjet in the supercars class. Without the boost, the Vigilante would be one of the slowest vehicles in the supercars class, but because it has that rocket on the back of it, it's the quickest. And the same thing is true here. Some of these vehicles definitely wouldn't be the new number 1s or 2s or 3s in their classes without this boost benefit that they get. And the new number 1 muscle car in the game is benefited from that as well, which is the Imperator. So the Imperator is much quicker than the previous 2 muscle cars that we've just seen of the Dominator and the Impaler, with a 105.1. Again, with that boost helping it, we'll see a comparison between this and the previous best of the Yosemite towards the end of the video. But that's a really quick lap time. A 105.1 for a muscle car is very quick, and that's quicker than a lot of sports cars. In addition to something that's been quicker than a lot of sports cars, the Sasquatch is in 3rd place overall with a 1 minute 4.0 lap time. That would be good enough for, I believe, top 10 in the entire sports cars class, which has around 60 vehicles in it now. It's the new number 1 quickest off-road vehicle in the game, quickest vehicle in the off-roads class at least, beating the Camacho by almost 2 seconds, and the ramp buggy as well. And it's basically a Liberator and a Marshall on steroids. Its acceleration is incredible. It would be very quick even without the boost, but the nitrous boost that it gets really does, push it to the extra level. Now, 2 more vehicles to go, and probably no surprise that the 2nd placed vehicle is the ZR380, and that is good enough for the top 5 position in the sports cars class. Again, thanks to that boost. We'll be able to see a comparison at the end of the video between the ZR380 with its nitrous boost and without its nitrous boost. It does, give it an extra, say, 2 seconds in terms of lap time, and it's good enough to get them up into 5th place in the sports cars class. But it's, you know, still quite far off what the Pariah can do. It's more than 2 seconds per lap slower than what the Pariah can do, but the interesting thing will be for the top speed testing video for these cars, because that boost really does help them there, so that will be coming out tomorrow. But our number one vehicle for the Arena War vehicles is of course the Death Bike, with a lap time of 59.0 seconds. It's good enough for 7th place in the motorcycles class, which may not sound all that great, but motorcycles are just ridiculously quick. You know, you've got the Oppressors, the Shitaro, the Hakucho Drag, that are all very, very quick vehicles, and the Death Bike, for essentially being what used to be, you know, it's an upgraded Gargoyle, which the Gargoyle maybe was in 10th to 20th place in the motorcycles class. The upgrade that the Death Bike gets from that is pretty impressive, and again, like I keep saying, it's also thanks to that boost that it gets. It wouldn't be quite as quick without that, but you know, the boost really does help it when it comes to wheeling. So obviously wheeling with a bike is always quicker, and if you combine that with the boost, you just get some insane speeds, and we'll see that also from the top speed testing video tomorrow. At this point, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already for new testing videos every Thursday, and update videos when new cars are released, and check out other classes in the playlist. But as usual, you know, a motorcycle tops the list when we have anything like this. Motorcycles are generally quicker than cars in this game because you can abuse the wheelie on them and just get ridiculous speeds. Now here's a comparison between the two versions of the ZR380. So that we've got the ZR380 that you saw with the nitrous boost being used as much as it can. It obviously regenerates over a certain amount of time. That is not able to be affected by you. It's not like the KERS boost from various bikes where you can, the more that you brake, the more it regenerates. It just takes a certain amount of time to, you know, regenerate, and then you can use it again. You can also use it, you know, to a smaller extent as well in various parts of the track, for example. But when you compare it to the lap time that the ZR380 gets without a boost, it's pretty substantial. You know, from 5th place with the boost to 28th place without the boost, that's where it would be. It's pretty substantial, and the ZR380 and a lot of these vehicles really, they don't drive very well, you know, especially because they've got the new advanced handling flags which make them really bouncy over bumps. And the ZR380 doesn't really have an awful lot of traction or grip. It's quite slidey. So when it doesn't have that benefit of being able to use that nitrous boost, it's just a pretty average sports car. You know, like I said, only good enough for 28th place. And obviously when you're comparing it to the Pariah is just a normal car, but it is, you know, far and away the best sports car in the game without question. It looks, even with the boost, quite slow, because the Pariah is so good in so many ways. So it's on one hand a bit of a shame that some of these vehicles are only improved by one single modification that gives it a, you know, a boost, kind of like the Vigilante getting a rocket on the back of it. But also the cars would be much better if they didn't have these new advanced handling flags that made them really bumpy, really bouncy over bumps, I should say, really bad suspension, and probably some of the most enjoyable things that I drove during this testing, and the testing was a bit of a nightmare because of these, you know, the way that these cars handle, but the most enjoyable thing that I drove was probably the Sasquatch, and maybe the Bruiser, something like that. The regular vehicles just aren't that fun. Even the Death Bike was more fun to test and drive than the ZR380 or the Imperator, which, as you're seeing on the screen, the Yosemite is just a much better vehicle, you know, in terms of cornering, in terms of general ability. As you're comparing them, the Yosemite is just much better. It's just that because the Imperator has that nitrous boost, it obviously is going to get a quicker lap time. But yeah, when I'm saying that a motorbike is a better driving experience than some of the cars, then you know something's wrong, because I don't like riding motorcycles in this game with all the wheelie abuse and everything like that. And with the Death Bike also, from what I've heard, being the best vehicle to use in the Arena War game mode, because it's so small, so difficult to hit, and you can't get knocked off it. Once again, it seems like a motorbike is kind of ruining it for everybody else. But yeah, that is those are the lap times for all 12 Arena War vehicles. These are 5 pre-prepared Arena War vehicles. Again, it's a shame that we don't have the a stock ZR380, and then 7 other vehicles that you can get by upgrading existing vehicles. For example, the Death Bike is achieved by upgrading a Gargoyle. And yeah, those are all their lap times. Now you know the quickest. It's been a bit of a pain in the ass to test all this before the snow came to GTA, but I finally got it done. I hope it's helpful to you guys. Thank you all so much for the support. That's pretty much it for this one, but we will have the top speed testing for these vehicles tomorrow, and that's even more interesting with those nitrous boosts. So that's pretty much it. Remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, subscribe for more, and consider supporting on Patreon or becoming a member on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.